browsing. Here we go. Hello, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, so also I'm looking here for all the other spaces and places, and I'm looking here for Instagram. So I'll make sure to, spread the love.
Yeah, okay. So, and then I have my sister on Facebook who's going to check if there is an echo. So look at us. We are supported, right?
We are always supported.
So Tracy, we are here today because I want to make sure that the world knows kind of how I ended up in your world. Mm-hmm. And then I came for one thing and I've never left.
Amazing. So why don't we start there? What did you originally come to the Litt Factor for?
So my story is like I've been in business for 10 years. And then I think there is an echo.
Yeah, there is. I think we need to leave Instagram. I love you, Instagram, but I don't want this to be challenging for everyone. So we are going to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.
Okay. My sister says there is no echo on Facebook. So I don't know. What do we do, Tracy?
Because it's all coming through StreamYard. So I love you, Instagram. I will be back. I will come and give you actually a recap on the conversation.
Awesome.
And then I will link the conversation so that you can come and find it. All right? Mwah. Love you. Yeah.
Okay. Done.
That's right. Let's do that. All right. So let's just get into it here so we're not making the people wait.
So here we go. So you asked me, why did I come first? Mm-hmm. So when I came to your world, first we met through a mastermind that we were together in, but this is not like the full story. The full story is that, that day when you decide that you're going to become familiar with the idea that it's okay to invest in yourself. And then you start investing your first $1,000 and like you feel sick to your stomach. This is like, what? Yeah. So that, for me, that story was in 2017. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then after that, once you do your first investment, you're like, oh my God, that works. So you invest and invest and invest and invest. So I invested in everything that was business, like pure business, pure marketing. And I was still not where I wanted to be. And I knew inside of me that personal development that I started 20 years ago when I got sick, you already need something to hit you. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to work on me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I need to go deeper there because the answer is there. And I'm like, who do you go? There's so many people around personal development, And then you were in my mastermind, and I'm going to share something that I know now. We were maybe 50, 50 women. And the one who was the most scariest for me was Tracy Litt. I told you that before, I think. But I was like, I don't want to talk to that woman. She scares me because I knew. But I didn't know at the time that fear is your green light. Now I know. It's been 4 years or soon 3, right? So this is when, you start downloading stuff, like putting your toes in the water. And then one day you told me, I said, but how do you, that's when you were doing your TEDx. And I was like, how? You were talking about, the fact that you were like so sure of yourself on the stage. And I sent you a private message and said, how can you be so confident? And you told me this, that at the time I didn't understand, but I knew it meant something. You said, because I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. And then it was an audio message. That was when I decided to go full body in the water.
Yeah.
And be open to discover what I could not even imagine I could discover. Does that help to introduce how I met you? That's kind of the story.
I think it's amazing. And I have to say, I find it to be such a beautiful compliment when women tell me that they are afraid when they meet me, which is a common thing, or my energy is really big, or they're like, whoa, you're activating me, or things like that, because it means I'm touching something in you. right? It means I'm awakening something in you. And that's really critical to your ability to grow and expand. If you're not being, and I want to make sure I'm really, really intentional here, lovingly challenged, safely challenged, sacredly challenged, then you're not going to be brought up into your next level and your next and your next, right? Coaching and mentorship needs to feel choice-based and safe from I know this person has my highest good and they understand how to hold me, right? And that's what being trauma informed is really about, understanding that everything's a trauma response, that we're working with beautiful spiritual beings having a human experience, and to know, and I'm going to follow this healthy fear because this moment, this woman, this circumstance represents something that's doing something good inside of me and showing me a direction, showing me an opportunity, showing me a convicted way of being, right? Yeah. And that's so beautiful. And then you coming into the work, and let me just pause, because not everybody, what does the work mean? So the Litt Factor is a human growth and expansion company that specializes in women leaders and entrepreneurs. We are who you come to when you are ready to embody your next level and your next and your next, because you are fully aware that in order to experience in your third dimensional reality, right, as in your every single day, yes, this is your life, in order to experience that which you know is your calling, right, what's available to you, your capacity, the ability to do that is based in your ability to embody and become the next level of you. And that is long-term sustainable change. That is identity evolution work. That's not like quickie mindset or gratitude journal or NLP or all these other things that, listen, I love it all. I love it all. I am a leader in this space. The Litt Factor is a leader in the consciousness revolution. I think that there is a place for every single modality, for every single practice that's available. And I need to distinguish, there's a difference in the skill set and the type of work you need to do when you are evolving your identity and you are in your becoming process. And that's what happened, right, for you when you came.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said. Like, this is the component, because I told you, like, and most women do tell you that they've been doing personal development mindset work. But the piece that really blew my mind, and you can't even believe it or understand it until you feel it, is the fact that your body is part of the transformation. And just doing the things with your mind is not enough. It's not sustainable. So literally, Tracy, like, I feel my body transforming, like every level of success in my business or in my relationships with my son, with my husband, like with the planet in itself, with my clients. Like, you feel your body change.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yes, because there's so many things I want to say to this. Yes, because your nervous system is changing, right? And when we were raised in a society that was driving us to forget we had a body, that's driving us, right? Our third dimensional world, which is how our society functions, is our material world that's built on lack and separation, right? It's built on ego, it's built on materialism. And for that to perpetuate, it's really helpful if the world forgets they have bodies, if they get disconnected from their intuition, right? If they're not working with their own nervous systems to create next levels of safety. So in order to have this long-term sustainable change, to really evolve your identity, right? Like for you and so many of our certified practitioners and mind magicians, you can't even remember what it's like to think the way you used to think.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, because you changed the neurotags, you've rewired yourself for real, you guys, For real.
Yeah. And so this is why the fear components of the work we do together, we have so many fears that we mix all together. There is, as you always say, the legit fears, and then there is the fears that are just your mind protecting you of becoming someone else. It's really an identity shift that we do. And the thing I want to kind of mention before we go to the next level of why we're here today is that this identity transformation, and I'm gonna cry, whew, is happening at every level, not only you, but all the people you touch every day, like your family, your clients, random people you meet in a store. It's just like, yeah, it's amazing. So, because I know your audience is mostly coaches and consultants and healers, and the same for me, I want to have this message for all of you, that when you believe so much in your work and in your clients and on yourself, the next level is to train other people to do your work, because your business is beyond who you are. And this is what Tracy had to do, because she saw that she can't do it all. She needs her people to help her change the world. So, Tracy, tell us what happened. How did you make that freaking decision? Because I remember the story when you announced it to your powerhouse thing. That was like your body was talking to you hard.
Well, I'm actually, it's so interesting you just said that, because I got a hit last night before I was falling asleep that the next podcast episode I'm going to record for you guys on How Within is about growth edges, and about exactly, like, that's a gorgeous example of that. But I just want to like witness you for a minute. I've had a lot of beautiful conversations and interviews like this in the past week, and a few more today, in actual fact, all around this, because right now we are in, once a year we enroll, once a year we open applications for our absolutely one-of-a-kind certification experience. So I've had the blessing of sitting with practitioners like you and your colleagues who you are in deep community with, and just watching you and witnessing you, and even the beauty of your emoting out loud so visibly is such a marking of your growth too, right? Because we haven't made it through one interview, by the way, whether it's a podcast or social media, where we're both not crying, okay? And I need to underscore this, because this is what being part of the consciousness revolution looks like. This is what being open-hearted looks like. This is what being fully expressed looks like. And that's where we need to go, you guys. That's where we need to go. If we're going to fulfill our generation's responsibility, okay, as in you're alive right now in the consciousness revolution, we are responsible to actively do our own evolutionary work, so that we become the variable that rises, okay? Just like you said, Angelique, you said your family, your marriage, your clients, the person you meet at the grocery store, because your electromagnetic field is so potent now, and you're resonating and emitting this frequency because of all the work. And when we individually, so if my fist is each one of us individually, right? When you, the being, changes, right? Which means you're healing, you are elevating your consciousness from third dimension through 4 into 5th. You have a different belief structure. You are operating at a higher frequency, which means you are responding and not reacting, right? You are literally, you went from here in your identity to here in your identity. Move it out of my face. Scientifically, when the variable changes, everything in proximity to the variable changing must shift in response to the variable shifting. That's ripple effect. You are the common denominator. You are the generator. You are the cause of the effect. What's happening for you internally is unquestionably generating what you are having in your third dimensional lived experience. So when you're in the work like this, and when you are moving through certification as a practitioner, because it's embodiment, I have been saying this left, right, and center. Talking shit is over, party people. Okay? Do not post a meme about thoughts creating your reality and then go back to not thinking about what you're thinking about. It's just unacceptable. If you are here to make an impact as a coach, a healer, a service provider, a business strategist, right, which is essentially what you do is social media love. It is business strategy related. And you know you need to take your clients deeper. You must walk the walk.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, to actually answer your question, it occurred to me that people find it confusing on how to walk the walk, right? And what does it mean to embody? So the way that all of this came to be, Mind Magic, is our core framework at the Lit Factor. Beautiful. Thank you so much. That came in your gorgeous box, right?
Yes.
Mind Magic is our core framework. It's our intellectual property that is literally the curriculum of how I've become who I've become. I won't teach, I won't coach, I won't deliver a practice that I haven't tried on myself. It has to work for me first. It's the work that over space and time took me from a single mother on food stamps. Okay, identity evolve, identity evolve, identity evolve, identity evolve, identity evolve, identity evolve, to the CEO and founder of this massively growing multiple seven-figure company that we're sitting in now. Okay, and I was delivering Mind Magic, and beautiful women were coming through. Some women that have been doing personal growth work since, like, if you know what EST is, in the 1970s, it was like the first personal growth seminars ever introduced to the world, right? Women from that range to women who have gone through multiple certifications and other beautiful things that you're like, yeah, like that's something I've heard about, or, you know, really, really acclaimed people's programs. And you come through Mind Magic and go, what the fuck was that? Because I thought I've been doing growth work this whole time, but I don't even know what, everything has shifted for me. And then the next thing that they would say is, can I teach this to my clients? Can I take my client through the thought loop? Can I use the fear work with my sales team on all these questions? And then it hit me, because you and I, again, were together. It was Eleanor Beaton, who was one of my favorite people on the planet. It was her mastermind that we were in. And I knew and even declared then, I'm here for massive impact. And then when that was happening and all these beautiful, wonderful souls were asking to take my work, it hit me and I went, oh my God, this is it. The massive impact you're here to make isn't singular to you, Tracy, serving thousands of people only. It's you certifying other incredible, highly conscious, open-hearted people who have a calling, certifying them. And this is the kicker, and I would like you to speak to this as a practitioner. And then making it so easy. Certify them, but then give them all of your work. Don't make them recreate the wheel. Give them the whole 12-week program. Give them all of your workshops. Give them all of your worksheets. Give them all of your secrets. Give them everything. So as soon as they certify, they can just go make massive impact. And that's one of our biggest differentiators. So I'm going to stop talking. Angelique, speak to that.
Yeah, I know. I can very freshly speak to that, among many other things. So at Christmas time, I don't know. So this is one of the things of Mind Magic. You get really to hear your intuition more and more. You work from a place of, it's coming from around you. It's not coming from a strategy or anything, but your intuition tells you, what about we do a challenge in January? You know, I could feel people a little overwhelmed about the idea of a new year and another goal I'm not going to achieve. And I'm like, okay, it's my time to infuse some mind magic on the internet. So I started a challenge, crazy, like 31 day. Like I've never done that long in English and in French. So I just want to tell you this, Tracy. My French audience, marketing wise, I had to put it on hold for 3 years because it was too much for my brain to create in both languages all the time. But I'm like, I went to my family. So I'm from France, for those of you who don't know. So I go and visit my family last last September. And I'm like, oh my God, France, they need my magic. I felt the pressure, like so much pressure, that I'm like, I got to do something. And then I even told you in the message, Tracy, I'm like, there is something to do in France. So, and then month passed. And then in January, I'm like, I'm going to launch in both languages, even though I never reactivated my audience in French. And I'm like, hi guys, it's been 3 years in my email, in my Facebook group. Hi, I'm doing a challenge. It's called Imagine. ... And then we start the challenge. The one in French picks up like crazy. So you see how I'm telling you here, guys, ladies, the ones in French picked up, the one in English didn't, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. This is my magic pure in action here. Before, I would have never allowed myself to say that some things are not working, and so mm-hmm. That's one thing, by the way. But the other thing is, so it picked up in French to the point I'm like, people are ready for my magic, like full program. Holy shit, it's like in 2 days I need to sell, I need to invite them, and I'm like, nothing is ready, the sales page and blah 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 blah, the program on Kajabi and everything. And then I go to the place that we go when you go to Tracy to be certified as a mind magician. She provides everything. When you say everything, literally everything. So you open the drawer. Okay, so now I need the sales page. It's right there. I need the welcome email. It's right there. I need all the pieces that there is behind selling a program to someone. Already there for you. Literally copy and paste, tweak it a little bit to put your flavors or whatever, depending on the country you are in. You need to add some stuff, for rules and regulations. And then that's it. Mm-hmm. Literally, it happened. When was that? Last week. It's so fresh. My stories is so fresh. I went to bed at 2 a.m. because I knew that if I started at 8, I would be done. Everything was set up because it was already pre-done by you. But I did everything. It took me 4 to 6 hours. And the client, my first client, got all the beautiful email and everything that comes with it. Yeah, it was because it was already there. So you give everything, not only the aspect around the selling and the marketing, but also, of course, the content. Mm-hmm. So literally, you meet someone who says, oh my God, I need to motivate my team. Like the retention rate is really suck. And you could say, okay, I have a workshop for you guys. Come in, because we also have workshops that are ready to go. You can teach them as they are, or you can tweak them, whatever. I just love that part of the easiness of everything. So that's as you say, a mega differentiator. Mega.
Yeah. Well, because ultimately, if integrity is everything. Integrity is everything. And if I'm going to say that we are here to create massive impact in the world, and the way that we at the Litt Factor make our massive impact is by helping you make yours, then I need to action and be in congruence with that statement. And when I graduated from coaching school, and I love my coaching school, I had nothing but phenomenal experience. And when I even became a hypnotherapist or all these other things, I would do these certifications and I would go through these things, and then I would still feel like, I'm so excited. What the hell do I do now? Right? Because not everybody is an experiential curriculum designer. And not everybody understands how, right, to create something that speaks to the multiple ways that people learn or need information. And if I already did something and now we have proven it, like you guys, if you are curious, go to thelittfactor.com. There is an impact report. Go look at it. and you will see the proof hand over fist of what I'm explaining to you. So if I already proved it, why do I need to make you work for it? Why do I need to make you try to figure it out and do your own? You can take, the way that it works is once you become certified, and I want to underscore this, you're going through your own transformation first, because there's no world where you are going to take my legacy work and not have transformed through it yourself first. Right? It also allows you transform people. So when you're the proof, when you're the billboard, the rest of it becomes really, really easy. So you're going through the transformation of mind magic yourself first. Then you are going through a 5-day immersion with us in person, because there is nothing more important and magical to role play, right? We're teaching you, yes, you become trauma informed. Yes, you become an expert in energetics and frequency and vibe. Yes, you understand fear in a way that nobody else is teaching it, that my TED Talk is based on. So you can Google TED Talk Tracy Litt and watch that. And you are moving through that experientially. So you're role playing and you're bonding with your community. And then phase 3, we have these ridiculous master classes, because I like to serve it through, God, I wish somebody would have given that to me, right? So I'm teaching you everything from detached involvement to how to lead effective visualizations to you are not their guru, because something that we need to continue to hone in this personal development industry is you're not. Your responsibility in this personal development, ascension, healing, energetic world is to support your clients into understanding that they are their own gurus, and teach them how to self-trust and teach them how to self-coach, right? So there is nothing like this anywhere in the personal growth, human potential, energetic space.
Can we do a pause and zoom in the word trauma informed? Because for me, that was maybe one of the biggest, I would have never guessed that I would have anything to do with the trauma world until I discovered that I am a trauma product. But not only that, it's just how you can help people with their trauma, small T, big T, whatever.
Yeah.
Can you talk to this? That's very important.
I'm gonna speak to it intentionally. Everything is a trauma response for everyone. And one of the things that we also have a responsibility to do in our generation is to take the heaviness off of trauma healing and allow ourselves to realize that for all of us, so wounds have occurred. So the shit that has happened in your life since you were little, right? And even some things that were handed down generationally, those are wounds. And when the wound occurs, a trauma response happens inside of your body, right? So trauma isn't the thing that happened. Trauma is the way your body responded to the wound that occurred, right? And then we hold the trauma in our bodies, which is why working with our bodies is so important somatically. Somatic, nervous system, body, it's all the same thing, right? Essentially, we then develop these coping mechanisms, these adaptive behaviors, so that we can create safety. And when you realize that people pleasing is a trauma response, right? And you're like, okay, it also helps you go like, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And when we start to see trauma through this more conscious lens, because that's what it comes down to. The higher you move in your consciousness, the more you can say, okay, you know what? Everything's a trauma response. That reaction, the way my body clams up, my freeze response, my people pleasing response, my control, my lack of self-trust, whatever it is, it allows you to just go, oh, okay, so I'm not alone. No. And that also then calls us to living into our purpose in this divine responsibility of our generation to work on yourself, right? Because that's the only way to start to heal through and start to unbecome our trauma responses, to start to feel safe letting go of that adaptive control, to start to give your system what it needs and what it deserves. And we need to take the intensity off the word trauma. And I'm going to give a very important caveat in a second. off of it so that more of us can be working with our clients. And you need to be trained, which is part of what we do, right? And you also need to have a more highly conscious lens on trauma, because you, as a practitioner, right now you're a coach, you're a healer, you're a service provider, you are so much more capable to hold and help people heal than you think you are. And if we keep seeing trauma as this big, scary, heavy thing, then we are going to make the healing of our world and the consciousness revolution take exponentially longer than it needs to. You need to be skilled. You need to be trained. Yes, that's true. And when there's bigger T trauma, because there is a difference in wounds that occur and then the trauma responses, you also need to understand, okay, I've worked with my client and now it is my responsibility to refer them out to do some deeper trauma work with other types of modalities too. Right? So I'm going to pause there because I could talk about this for days, but that's essentially where we're going from that respect. So when you come through and get certified, one of the things that we skill you in is the inner child freedom process, right? Which is part of the method to help people move through the trauma. And then when you're working with people's bodies, the trauma starts to alleviate. When you're working with your nervous system, when you're learning how to pay attention to your body and release what needs to be released, you are slowly letting go of the trauma response. When you are embodying the next level version of you, like let's take people pleasing, and the next level version of you feels safe in her body using her voice saying no when she means no. Every time you do that, you're also healing that trauma.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I have to say, Tracy, this is maybe the component as a social media marketing strategist, online visibility strategist for a women entrepreneur. Visibility is such a beautiful field to play with your trauma.
It's huge.
Yeah, and this is what I would say among my clients help them the most. And at first I had that fear that was outside of my comfort zone, right? So that fear was for my green light. I'm not allowed. Now that I know, that is way simpler than I thought. This is the part that is so surprising. And I'm not going to say more because I want people to go to your masterclass to understand more. But it's so simple. It's simpler than we think.
Yes.
And it's such a liberation.
Yeah.
And it allows your clients to be successful, because sometimes we get stuck on the fact, oh, my clients are not successful, but it probably has nothing to do with your expertise or the way you teach or coach people. They need to do the work.
They need to do the work, but that's also why when you pick this up, right, for you, for Sally, right, for other business strategists that have come through our program, it's so amazing because of that, because you are still living, you have your social media excellence, Angelique, right? You doing what you do. And now adding the ability to help your clients with the inner works, which is where the blocks, put that in quotes, come from, the perceived blocks. Now you're able to deliver an even bigger promise than you originally were able to.
And I want to make clear that since I am certified, I changed my program. Mind Magic is mandatory before we do any strategy, any tactic. Yeah.
That's
because
huge.
This is the only work, as you always say, that makes everything else work.
Right.
And then after that, your clients coach themselves. Oh yeah, what am I saying? They hear themselves talk. Like, this is just beauty. So
yes,
please go to, if you want more of Tracy's juice, you have your masterclass. Tell us more of what to expect about that.
Yes. So on Monday, the 13th, this coming Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I am hosting the Massive Impact Masterclass. You can go to themassiveimpactmasterclass.com. It's free. It is potent. And I only do it once a year. You will not see this again this year because we only enroll for our certification cohorts once a year, and our Massive Impact Masterclass is directly connected because I want to spend time with you. I want you to spend more time with me and my team. And I want to really explain and, share the truth of what impact actually is, what making massive impact means, uncover some kind of myths that I know people operate with, so that you have a really sound understanding of what it takes to make that impact. And then we share with you how our certification can be a direct contributor to your ability to make your massive impact. So start with us there, and I promise you it will be the most potent 90 minutes you've experienced in a really long time.
Yeah. And before we go, I just want to say that especially when you're in the service-based business, we always say, you sell something that is completely intangible, right? So marketing-wise, you need certain things so that people can make it tangible in their mind and they want to buy your services. But once you are not only mind magician, but certified to teach mind magic, you become the tangible aspect of what your business offers, the transformation that your business offers. So you, in your sales process, it's going to be game changer. There is no more push. There is no more like they have to have a client, because you are so much embodiment of the work that is either people, I'm like, I want to be in your world, or they're not ready and they go and they'll come back when they're ready. So that piece that you don't even have to control or put a hat or put makeup on, it's, you become the thing. So when you sell, it's like,
Yeah.
want it? I'm ready. Well, no, okay, come later.
Yes, because it's detachment. The more attached you are, the more you push the thing you think you want further away from you. So detachment.
That was big. And then, and of course, being certified is really, because for me, as you say, integrity is key. I'm not going to teach my magic if I don't do the work. And I know that have another 100 layers to remove. So I'm going to do the work until my death.
Correct. So, but that's the point, Angelique, is that we are evolving. That is what we are here to do. All of the pushing and the perceived problems and the stress and the issues and the external blame and the external validation, like it's got to die. And that's what the consciousness revolution is about. Raising our collective consciousness, having a more loving, compassionate world, understanding that we are energy and treating ourselves as such, being less of ourselves and more of the source and the pure love and consciousness from which we are derived. Understanding that you are the generator and you are the common denominator. And if you pay attention to the work of within and your inner environment, everything that you're currently trying to solve for and you're fucking perseverating on just stops. That's what needs to happen. And that's the ultimate mission that we're on. So there.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, we have Lori and Amanda on fire in the comments. Detachment, faith, and trust. Yes. Less of me, more of love.
Yay. Amen, sister. Amen. Awesome. Thank you, Angelique. Thank you so much. This has just been amazing. And can we give one big round of applause that now, because of your certification, Mind Magic is now going to be in French. Mind Magic is going to take over France.
Yes.
Yes. World domination is happening.
And actually, I want to finish on an anecdote because I thought of you when it happened. So because of the work, a lot of shits are happening that were in my very first vision of my magic. I didn't even know, but because I teach my magic and you say, share your first vision. So I went back to my books and I reread my first vision. And at the end it says, oh, and I'm coming back from celebrating my birthday with my family. And I just hosted a retreat in Chartres, which is where my parents live, 3 years ago. And it's happening next March. So things happen when you do the work. And so because of that retreat, I'm reaching out to people. I'm trying to rebuild a network in France. I left 25 years ago.
Right.
So I start to talk about people, about my magic, what I do. And they're like, oh my God, can you speak more about this? We want to hear more of this in France. I'm like, yeah, it's just the beginning, girl. I'm coming.
Get ready. I'm there. I'm available. I'll come to France. Whatever you need me to do, I'm available. Let me know.
I love it. So thank you. And the masterclass is right there, and the link is here, and I'll put it also in the description so that it's clickable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. She is coming, says Amanda. Oh, Melissa, you're here. Oh, Charlotte is here. Charlotte is my sister, and she's going to be the one helping me with adapting everything in French. So big shout out. She's going to be my partner in crime.
Love it. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you.
Okay. So, Tracy, good luck with the third. Is that third or fourth cohort? Third. Oh my God. I can't wait to see who we're going to meet.
I know. Me too. Me too. Thank you so much, Angelique.
Okay. Ciao. Bye-bye. And please, ladies, share that video if you know people who need that, because there is room for everybody to learn about what we do here at the Litt Factor.
Thank you.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.